Welcome to this emergency episode of News Unboringed. Every so often I will do an emergency episode of News Unboringed when I feel the need to clarify something from a previous show, or to make a statement, or there's been a huge news event that I feel like I need to take the boring out of. First off, I just want to start with this. This is the last you'll ever hear of Andrew Bridgen, because no one had ever fucking heard of him until he was suspended, let's be honest, apart from people in his constituency. He actually said the vaccine was the worst thing to happen since the Holocaust. He wasn't making a direct comparison, but he said since. We did get that wrong. We probably should have done more research, especially in a show like this. But my point does still stand, that what he said was absolutely scummy. You can blame freedom of speech all you want. Freedom of speech, to me, the line is when I say something genuinely hateful, genuinely so laughably ridiculous, like comparing a vaccine to the Holocaust, and yeah, just stuff like that. Apart from that, you can pretty much say whatever you want in my eyes. And I will have utmost respect, especially if you stick to the guns and not stick to your guns and not completely curl up under pressure to change it. That I do respect. But, the vaccine, I don't fully trust it. I want to put that out there. I do not fully trust the vaccine. It was made so quickly after the pandemic was taken seriously, and it's definitely a short-term solution until they make something better, something that's a lot less, that has less risks. But according to science, 11 per 1 million doses of an AstraZeneca vaccine causes blood clots, which isn't great, but it's not as bad as an event that killed so many people. 6 million Jews. Millions and millions more. The guy under this channel has autism. If he was in that, he would have been killed. There are people watching this video that would have been killed. A number of them, probably. If there is a number of people actually watching this video, and not just like 2. Sorry about the dogs in the background, by the way. I can't really do much about them, they're just mad. So to compare a vaccine that, sure, isn't perfect in any way, and defo has a lot of risks, and defo should be touched on with caution, to the most vile human atrocity to ever occur, is scummy. Whatever you think of the vaccines, it could be anti-vax. You can say the vaccine is ridiculous and it's just stupid, it's a scam. You can say stuff like that, that the vaccine isn't useful, really, I suppose. Isn't good. You can say stuff like that, but you can say it logically and respectfully instead of comparing it to something like, i.e. the Holocaust. Well, maybe not directly comparing it, but to put them in the same sentence and to make that sentence in terms of the vaccine being similar in terms of levels of vileness and abhorrentness, and to completely ignore the likes of the Ukraine war going on right now, the Vietnam War, a number of other things, and call that the worst thing, when it's really not that bad compared to any war at all. It's just ridiculous. Whatever you think of vaccines, I don't fully trust them, but I wouldn't compare them to the Holocaust. Right, and that is the last thing you will ever hear me say about that. Right, but there has been a lot of news today, so we will touch upon that. now that we have time and have a reason to do so. And we will begin with Benjamin Mendy being found not guilty of 6 counts of rape. Of course, this might be due to a lack of evidence. So it may really not equal innocence and just equal the fact he's a really good hider. But if the victims were lying, then they are absolute scum and deserve to be punished severely. If it is true that Mendy was innocent this whole time, then they are scummy and they deserve to be they deserve to suffer massively, as much as Benjamin Mendy did. This is obviously presuming that he is not guilty, and when it comes to rape, very few are actually found guilty. So there is no guarantee that he is actually innocent. But if he turns out to be, then the people who called him out are absolute scum. Louis Saha, who was also with him when all of this happened. It's him and Louis Zaha who were accused, were also found not guilty of 3 counts of rape against 2 teenagers. However, the jury did fail to reach the verdicts on 1 count of rape and 1 of attempted rape, and a retrial will take place. In court, Mr. Mendy was called a predator who turned the pursuit of women for sex into a game. So, yeah. What I will say is tread with caution on this whole debacle. And if it turns out he's guilty of just a really good hider, then he's still a scumbag. But if he has been innocent this whole time, if Louis Saha has been innocent this whole time, the people who accused him deserve to suffer. But moving on to politics. You might as well go to sleep, but do not worry. We are here to unboring it. Corbyn-era legal costs could blunt Labour's general election campaign. I'm shattered already. Right. Basically, the UK's data watchdog has told the BBC it will not be prosecuting 3 Jeremy Corbyn supporters named Georgie Robertson, Laura Murray, and Harry Hayball. What a sad name, Harry Hayball. First of all, being called Harry, especially with Prince Harry right now going absolutely crazy, is sad. But Hayball, as a fucking surname, that is such a shame. Sorry for being off frame, by the way. Yeah. Huge apologies. Yeah. Also, here's a statistic for you. In over 65s, Prince Harry is more hated than Prince Andrew. Not even kidding. Genuine statistics. Look it up. But yeah, they will not be prosecuted for leaking confidential information, which could have implications for Labour's ability to mount an effective general election campaign, as some of the party believe it could face a multi-million-pound legal bill. The 3 have been blamed by Labour, along with 2 other Corbyn supporters, of leaking a controversial internal party document, which included private emails and messages. What did they say? But the Information Commissioner has told the BBC it has found insufficient evidence that any individual has unlawfully obtained and disclosed personal data. Obviously, that doesn't mean that they didn't. And, if they didn't, then Labour are going on about a load of gobshite. But they're politicians, that's what they always do, so they probably are. But, if it turns out they are guilty, they are really good hiders and they're still ridiculous. In other information, Labour are taking the 5 Corbyn supporters to the High Court for conspiring to put the document into the public domain. Ooh. Did they get fruity with those private messages? Will we find out? We'll just have to see. But some of the party are concerned that the Commissioner's decision could make the case less likely to succeed. And yeah, that is a definite possibility due to what he said. And if it fails, lawyers for the Corbyn supporters say they'll seek to recover the costs. But the party has said it's confident of the case making it to court, but the stakes are high because this could completely blunt their campaign. And Nicola Gratteri is the man on the kill list of Italy's most powerful mafia. He only told us where to find him. Only told the BBC where to find him, not us. I don't have a clue who the hell he is. 20 minutes before they met up. Nicola Gratteri, the prosecutor leading the country's fight against organised crime, has learned to live in constant danger because the mafia are known for that kind of stuff. So obviously they threw a little bit of a hissy fit. But, if he's living in danger, do you not think you maybe shouldn't splatter his name on one of the biggest websites in the world, BBC? Come on. Do you not realise how much danger he's in? Italy's most powerful mafia. They can't be that much of pussios if they're apparently the most powerful. There's probably a lot of fucking mafias down there. In other news, Jenny Go suffered a serious stroke. She is a BBC F1 broadcaster, but she is recovering, and it might take some time. But as far as we know, as far as what she said, from what I know, she isn't going to die. And dozens of broadcasters have given her messages of support. She currently finds it hard to write, and her speech is super affected. Her husband was helping her type what she said. She said, "Hi everyone, been quiet the last few weeks. You can't do us in for not doing our research now. This is because I suffered a serious stroke 2 weeks ago. My husband has helped me type this and find it hard to write, and my speech is most effective. I'm desperate to make a full recovery and return to work, but it might take some time. Thank you to the medical teams and my family and friends who've got me through this last fortnight." And there's definitely a bit of risk of her not making it, but by the fact that it's hope and not and it doesn't feel quite fully guaranteed. But from what we've heard, there isn't a huge risk. So at least we can say that. Moving on, Russia has allegedly claimed victory in a bloody battle for Soledar, which, despite being a tiny town that had a pre-war population of 10,000, is huge. It's been utterly devastated and decimated generally in terms of infrastructure due to Russia's bombardment. So Russia's military has said it's captured that town, and after a super long battle, they've called it an important step for its offensive. The victory would allow Russian troops to push onto the nearby city of Bakhmut and cut off the Ukrainian forces there, a spokesman said. This was a very confident and ambitious statement from Moscow, obviously, saying that this could propel us to victory. Ooh, you haven't been utterly embarrassed by the fact you haven't won the war already. But Ukrainian officials have said it's going on, and the fight for Soledar is still going on, and Russia is chatting complete information noise, or as I like to call it, bollocks. And we're just reminded about this war and how scary it is that there's a war just going on and no one cares. And just a real shame that people just aren't talking about this. Because if what Russia's saying is the truth, it could end in tears for Ukraine. And no one appears to really care. People need to talk about this war again more. This is what happens. They talk about it for a week, for a month, and then forget about it because it's not trendy anymore. It's not hip. And it's absolutely fucking disgusting because if you were talking about it, it would still be a trend. It would still be all hip and trendy. And you'd still be talking about one of the most scary events the most scary event, probably, of this whole century. In other news, Adidas has lost a Stripes Row trademark battle with luxury designer Tom Brown. Basically saying that they've tried to stop a fashion designer from using a full stripes design, because they do. Scott Parker wore a blazer by the designer when he was Bournemouth manager as well, fun fact. A TV presenter named Alex Jones, who helped present the One Show, has admitted to locking King Charles in the toilet, losing a famous composer's cello, and being fired twice from her first job. Thankfully, it's not the alt-right Alex Jones, because he's made a lot more bigger mistakes, like saying Sandy Hook was a myth and all faked and staged and stuff. Because it made him ordered to pay almost $2 billion. I mean, he's had to file for bankruptcy because of it, because obviously he doesn't have that much money lying around. Whether he was right or not, it was deadly for this. Anyway, here's something concerning, because all the news is bad and life sucks. We can take the boring out of the news, but not the depression. Smart appliances can stop working properly after just 2 years because manufacturers are failing to provide tech updates according to Rich, which is absolutely ridiculous and just shows how greedy they are, that they're going to just give up on them because they've got the new one out and then they're going to give up on that and then the new one's out and it's just going to make them a shit ton of fucking money, and that's why they do not care to stop it. And football behaviour has been described as febrile, or febrile, I don't know how to pronounce it. Febrile, I suppose, makes sense from how it's spelled, Febrile. Yeah, football behaviour has been described as febrile and getting worse by a father of a 15-year-old girl who was scarred for life when she was struck on the head with a pint glass filled with coins during Manchester City's Carabao Cup tie with Liverpool last month. Russia has cleared figure skater Valavela over having any fault in the doping scandal that ruined her first Olympics. I mean, by the looks of things, it was her committee, her trainer's fault, and they are absolutely scummy for doing that to her. Anyway, the pure evil builder who murdered 2 women has been jailed, Mark Brown. He was given 2 life sentences to be served concurrently and told he would spend a minimum of 1 year shy of 50 years. Scotland have announced their first green passport in Cromarty Firth and Forth, which I defo butchered the pronunciation of. Well, first green free ports, which I presume is just free ports that are less environmentally harmful, given their green. And a man who murdered his neighbour in a caravan blaze has also been jailed for life. And a man was shot multiple times. I'm trying to get through this quick, so you aren't bored, because we've talked a lot about the news. We had a 6-minute tangent over that bloody... a 5-minute tangent over that bloody Andrew, whatever his name was. I forgot his name now. But yeah, there was a brutal murder of a man in Lurgan after he was apparently shot a number of times, including once in the back. Yeah. Taylor Swift shocked fans by joining the 1975 on a stage in London. KSI has called Andrew Tate's Top G style cringy and said he does not want to be worshipped like that, and that, and also that people who are selling Prime for ridiculous prices should not be advertised, i.e. Wakey Wines. What's the biggest scam in Wakey? Ricky Gervais were turned away over resale tickets after it was decided that only tickets bought through Ticketmaster would be allowed. But obviously no one wants to buy through Ticketmaster because they're shite at selling tickets, which is the main thing they're meant to do. It could be a rough few months after what happened during the Eras Tour sale for them. And Stephanie McMahon resigns from WWE. Because I don't know, he just wanted to leave. She just wanted to leave. She was co-CEO and chairwoman since July, taken over from her father Vince, who retired following a number of misconduct claims, but now he's back. I don't know whether he's been proved innocent or the WWE are just scummy. Nor do I care. There's a partially cited Love Island contestant. Who cares? And that is it for News Unboringed. I will see you next Thursday. I don't think I've got anything else to say. I've not got anything to clarify, I presume, from anything of this show. And no more statements will be made. I just really felt the need to clarify something about that outburst on that Andrew Bridge, and I've remembered his name now. So, yeah, thank you. Good night.